My name is Vipul Kocher. I've been in the industry for 25 plus years now. I am a co-founder of two different companies. One is a social media company called mysutra.life and an AI product testing company, AI Ensured. As part of both the companies, we need to use cloud solution extensively. And so a lot of my experience comes from using cloud for different things for these companies, as well as using cloud and providing testing services around these and consulting related to a lot of different other companies and customers that we have. So, in addition to these, I am also one of the authors for the cloud testing certifications. So, we have a number of certifications, and I've been involved more or less in all of them. So, that's where part of my expertise also comes from in terms of reading more about it, researching things, talking to industry experts, and so on.
Because of your expertise and what you know, what is the biggest advantage of Cloud United?
So, one of the most important things in any certification is how do you learn to do things? Certifications tend towards one of the two formats. One where you don't use a computer. Your expertise typically is on the basis of slides, on the basis of discussions, maybe pen and paper based exercises. Whether you do them on computer or on paper doesn't really matter. So that's one style. Other style is where you are supposed to be doing hands-on. And the more hands-on you do in terms of setting up things, actually executing, writing code, doing things by your hand. For example, for a cloud system, that could be right from creation of instances on a cloud provider, creating machines and then setting them up, and then using various tools to setting up things like Kubernetes and Docker containers and so on, or using a lot of different types of tools. So essentially, when you do a more hands-on approach, the biggest advantage that you have is that as soon as you are out of the training, you actually can start doing things. Second thing is you understand technology in a deeper sense, deeper way. And because you've done it, it sort of becomes part of your skills. And consequently, the retention is more, and your ability to apply the principles that you've learned, it gets much more enhanced. So any course that you take, and I'm not saying take this course or that course. I'm not even saying take cloud course of which I am the one of the authors. I'm saying is choose a course very wisely, one that covers practical aspects, one that is going to give you the skills that you can apply very quickly, and one that uh, doesn't give you just a tool knowledge, gives you knowledge of fundamentals, gives knowledge of technology, so that if the tool changes, and tools change all the time, still the same principles can be applied by you using some other tool as well. So interestingly, this course, these set of courses on cloud, for example, we've been running since 2012 or 13.
Okay.
So I was the author of Word's first cloud testing certification. Now, we ran that for a few years, and then interestingly, the demand for the course died down. And cloud usage became so common, so prevalent that I thought that, we don't need any more certifications on the cloud because everybody now knows about it. Interestingly, 2017, the demand for the courses got revived because a lot of big companies, bank and finance, insurance, pharma, a lot of companies started moving their legacy or monolithic applications to cloud. So cloud migration, and then all the new applications that were coming up, they started using more and more of cloud technology. So there was a lot of demand that started in around 17, 18 timeframe. As a result, the whole suite of Cloud United courses were born. Foundation got rechristened with the new, I would say, new technologies in incorporated in the certification. So the foundation became practitioner, and then a lot of new other certifications happened. And interestingly, uh, the biggest companies in the world which are providing services around cloud, I can't name them, but majority of them are our customers, and we run these courses for their QA folks, testing people. It gives them hands-on experience and so on. So we are engaged in various capacities with these companies. One feedback that we get consistently from our participants is that the hands-on were fantastic. They were fabulous, and we enjoyed it very much. Never a dull moment. And so, our focus is not so much on the theory, but a small amount of theory, and then, a large amount of hands-on. This is the format that people really like. And why are we engaged, and why do we continue to deliver these courses month after month, batch after batch? Very simple. I don't need to say anything about the feedback. That alone by itself is the feedback.
So why should me, like as a new person in the Q&A or in the testing field, care about the cloud or go study the cloud?
Good question. So, interestingly, in a webinar recently, I was speaking for an internal webinar of a large SI, system integrator, a European system integrator. And there was a lot of question and answer session there, and this question was really asked. And the answer to that question there and here is just the same. And the answer is, this is where the technology is moving, has already moved, and more and more things are happening. So why should I be bothered about cloud? Because majority of companies are migrating their legacy infrastructure, legacy applications, or monolithic applications, and migrating to cloud. Now, when you migrate to cloud, some of the companies actually do what is called as re-architecting. So they are developing new versions of the applications from scratch, and then they are going to um, retire their legacy applications. So you need to understand how does cloud really work. Some of the companies are not really re-architecting, but moving these applications with minimum changes if possible. And this is something that's going to continue to happen for a few years, because there are a large number of applications, and the companies that have started this journey, they're not going to stop until all the applications are converted. So maybe let's say another 5-6 years, the migration will continue. So all testers who are working on large applications will eventually need to test them on the cloud. So that is one aspect. Second aspect is all new applications that are built using cloud native infrastructure. They definitely need to learn about it. So I'll give you an example. I was telling you about this company of mine, mysutra.life, which is a social media company. We developed we started the development of our product um, 9 months ago, and we are cloud native. So anybody who is developing anything today is cloud native, and if my testers don't understand how cloud native really works, then they'll not be able to test it. So unless you are in embedded domain, but there also cloud is being used. But generally, if you're testing mobile applications, if you're testing embedded systems, then you may still not worry too much about cloud. But otherwise, pretty much everybody would need to worry about cloud.
In your opinion, what is the most heated debate about cloud itself?
All right. So the heated debate that I see, they are mostly related to architecture. Should we re-architect our application as microservices? Will it be beneficial? Is there added complexity there? What are the minuses of having that kind of an infrastructure, that kind of an architecture? So that's one thing that I see. Second thing that I see is a whole thing related to hybrid cloud and multi-cloud. People have started moving from one shop only to hybrid private plus public clouds, or private plus public plus on-prem. So because people have invested in on-prem, and for certain things, technology doesn't change too much. So for example, if I have a lot of data which is proprietary, which I do not want to expose, and I don't want to take on the cloud because I already have all the infrastructure. So from a cost perspective, it might make sense. So those are basically the debate points in those cases. Another set of discussions happen related to tools. Which tool to be used? There are so many tools, and which is a better tool to use? Should I use a cloud provider tool, or should I use a cloud agnostic tool, etc. Uh, this question sort of also gets answered sometimes by what kind of APIs you are using, what kind of services you are using. If you are using cloud provider specific services, how much vendor locked in you are, and that becomes a very frustrating problem. Remember, we had to move from one provider to another for some reasons, and it took us because we were in early stages of development. It took us more than a week and a half to basically redo those pieces that were very much provider dependent. But had it been 1 or 2 years of development, then it would have been a much longer thing. So definitely we need some sort of standards there so that we can move from one cloud to another easily and quickly.
So can you give a basic concept of what is cloud testing?
Okay, so cloud testing, people can refer to cloud testing in majorly two different ways: testing the application on the cloud, or making use of cloud to do testing. So what is cloud testing from an application testing perspective? So when you're testing an application hosted on the cloud, um, in short, you have to understand what is different when you host an application on cloud as compared to on-prem um, installations or environments which are on premises. So when you look at on premises, there's a fixed set of infrastructure. And when you look on cloud, it gives you scalability, it gives you resilience, it gives you cost advantage, movement from capex to opex, and so on. So better backup and restore, backup disaster recovery. In many cases, many other things related to, um, for example, reliability, these things come into picture. Also, security can be better if you take advantage of those things. So when you do application testing on cloud, in addition to the usual um, testing that you do, which is functional testing and other non-functional tests, these cloud-specific tests need to be done. And in our courses, we focus on cloud-specific tests, not on general testing. When you use cloud for testing, for example, for performance and so on, it can help you have a very optimized test environment. You want to do performance testing, you can add resources on the fly, and overall cost of doing performance testing can go down and so on. Similarly, you can get pre-hosted tools, so you don't have to set up things and so on. Things are available readily and so on. So overall, cost optimization, availability of tools, um, ability to create large loads without really creating issues. Many of these things are part of testing application on the cloud. In addition, there is something interesting that is happening, and this is like, cutting edge. So serverless or functions as a service. So that has become very popular, and you can actually start doing your automation, including GUI automation using Selenium, using some of these concepts. They are pretty new, but they are likely to help you reduce your testing budget quite a lot and be able to scale up much faster when you use cloud for testing.
Thank you so much, Vipul.